What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And Ezra Miller is showing the whole world right now. Everybody can see this on full display. What privilege really is and what it's all about, okay? Because we always get this conversation coming up in society about who has privilege, right? Who has the privilege? Oh, is it white men? They have all the privilege. The world is just laid out at their feet. Is it certain religions? Is it women? Do they have all the privilege in the world? And honestly, a lot of that stuff I think is just mainly circumstantial when you come to most cases. But what's becoming obvious right now is if you have a certain political or racial or social or identity affiliation, okay? Oh yeah, these days the world is yours, man. You get a pass on any nonsense that you decide that you're looking to do. And this is the world of the progressives, right? Because they're so eager to kind of prop up all of these quote unquote marginalized communities that they end up creating privileges for all of these people who just get away with whatever they want to get away with. That's what Ezra Miller's been doing. Actor Ezra Miller gets fined and probation after a home break-in. As you can see, Miller was arrested twice last year in Hawaii, including for disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar. All right, so let's just check this out. Actor Ezra Miller pleaded guilty Friday to a charge stemming from a break-in and a theft of alcohol at a neighbor's home in Vermont, one of a string of arrests and reports of erratic behavior last year that stretched from Hawaii to New England. Miller, who appeared in several Justice League movies and blah, 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 said they would avoid a 3-month jail sentence for a misdemeanor charge of unlawful trespass, a $500 fine, and a court fee, a year of probation, and conditions including continued mental health treatment. Yeah, isn't this nice right here? Okay, so this guy goes on this year-long rampage, right? Year-long rampage, absolutely causing all kind of havoc and devastation across the country, right? $500 fine and a court fee. Hell, I got that. You know, they didn't even charge this dude something that kind of hurts his pockets a little bit. Nah, $500 fine, a year probation. Hey, okay, get on out of here, you crazy kid. Man, that's what pisses me off about this stuff. Because you know, if that was me or if that was you out there, if this happened to you, if you was on some year-long rampage, right? If from different states all over the country, just causing all kind of havoc and mayhem, you would be locked up under the jail. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and quickly look at what he was doing. So this is on Consequence Film, a timeline of Ezra Miller's legal troubles. Let's check it out. Now you can start actually in April of 2020, right? Just as the pandemic was getting kicked off to a nice healthy start. Yeah, he was outside of an Iceland bar choking people out. Outside of a bar in Iceland, I mean, this guy was in another country, choking a woman out, okay, at a bar, and, says, oh, you want to fight? Like, this is what he was doing. Then we get to this year, March of 2022, Hawaii arrest number one, right? Number one, first one, okay? Miller lunged at the 32-year-old man and failed to calm down after being asked several times by the bar owner. Miller's interactions with the two bar patrons earned them a disorderly conduct charge and harassment charge, but were released on custody after posting a $500 bail. April 19, 2022, Hawaii arrest number two. Arrested again in Hawaii for allegedly throwing a chair that struck a woman in the head. At about 1 a.m, law enforcement responded to a call at a private residence where Miller had become so irate after being asked to leave that they hurled a chair at a 26-year-old woman, leaving her with a half-inch gash in her forehead. Police located Miller on the street, arrested them for second-degree assault. They were released later that morning pending further investigation. No mention of bail or nothing, right? Can you imagine you hit somebody in the head with a chair, right? And your boss ain't Vince McMahon or something. Like, you hit somebody in the head with your chair and you just get released out of jail? Ezra, is that you in jail again? Golly, man, what you doing back in here, man? Hey, somebody give me the keys. Come on, man. Get up out of here, man. Let me go. Hey, get out of here, man. Quick. This dude is a scamp, man. Stop causing trouble, you crazy. Get on out of here, man. Jeez. Golly, that Ezra. June of 2022, protective orders. First appearance of Dakota Iron Eyes, the 18-year-old environmental activist. They sought an order against him. They said he began an inappropriate relationship with Iron Eyes when she was 12 years old. So 12 years old, he was already out here doing this nonsense. Then later on, a 12-year-old and her mother were granted an order of protection from Miller. And they're referring to a party that this 11-year-old and her mother had attended to. At the event, Miller began screaming in the mother's face after accusing her of cultural appropriation and allegedly showing her a gun, saying, talking like that could get you in really serious situation. Man, this dude is absolutely out of control. Then, of course, we saw this before with the cult leader nonsense, okay? Those closest to Miller spoke to Insider for a report that paints the actor as increasingly unstable and apparently running a sort of cult. Miller rented an Airbnb in the suburb of Kapagvogur and ran it as a commune with beds laid out on the floor for artists, expats, and young women. He led the group meditations and claimed to possess supernatural powers and also paid for food, lodging, and marijuana, but would become violent if they perceived any dissent within the group. August 7, felony burglary arrest. Stemming from a complaint filed back in May, according to Vermont State Police, the actor stole several bottles of alcohol from an, at the time, unoccupied residence. Probable cause was found to charge Ezra Miller with the offense of felony burglary in an unoccupied dwelling. And then, of course, we had him plead not guilty initially to the burglary, but then, of course, as you can see, he negotiates a plea deal, and now he's done. Out on bail. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna groom some kid. I mean...
I'm going to do my best to live up to my promise to be a good behaving citizen. That's what.
As part of the plea agreement here, the state will dismiss without prejudice counts 1 and 2 of the burglary and petite larceny, Judge McDonald Katie explained to Miller, whom she addressed as MX Miller on account of the actor's non-binary identity on Friday morning. You'll be on administrative probation for 1 year for the unlawful trespass that you'll be pleading guilty to, she added. If you complete that probation successfully and the probation is closed and discharged, count 1 will remain dismissed. However, if there's a violation of probation that was filed that a court found probable cause for, the state could refile the count 1 burglary. The judge concluded the conditions are about mental health, substance-free living, and no contact with Mr. Wanaker. Okay, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Mr. Wanaker, the guy whose house was broken into, I'm pretty sure he was compensated handsomely for his troubles, okay? Because that's how it goes. They got this guy to pretty much just drop those other charges, you know, and let this guy go off and get whatever little mental health checkups that he needs or whatever. Keep his appointments, you know, make sure he shows up. All right, stay out of trouble. This whole substance-free living, I don't know how that's going to work, all right? I don't know if that's going to work out in his favor. But, I mean, again, man, it just shows that this guy's just got the red carpet laid out for him, okay? All of this crap about privilege, this is the person with the privilege. And remember, we saw this last week where Warner Brothers is reportedly willing to move forward with Ezra Miller, okay? So if this thing is a hit and it makes a lot of money and everybody's like, oh, you know, The Flash wasn't that bad. I think we enjoyed ourselves at this film. And, you know, Ezra Miller did a great job. Yeah, this guy's going to get rewarded with more films, all right? Instead of getting, you know, hey, this is the end. It's a possibility that this guy is going to get rewarded with more films. Again, this is the privilege, all right? You can say what you want about all of these other folks in society that seem to get away with stuff, but most people in society will not get away with this kind of nonsense that this guy was doing for an entire year. Like, what happened to the arrests in Hawaii? Like, are those, that just fell off the map. Are those getting looked into? Is anybody going to bring this guy back and have him go to court for hitting a woman in the head with a chair? No, probably not. It just all goes away quietly and slowly. Warner Brothers, see David Zaslav with the rug, just kind of just sweep right up under the rug, okay? That's what's going to happen with this. And again, the thing that really upsets me, like I said, is that none of us could get away with this crap. And in this case, I think it is just as much about the identity and the social currency that this guy has for being non-binary and all that crap. Okay, it's just as much about that as it is about him being famous. Okay, we've seen famous people get away with stuff lots and lots of times. All right, but it seems like lately that they're picking and choosing, especially the studios, who they want to let get away with stuff. Johnny Depp, he can't get away with what happened with him. His storyline, oh no, we're not going to talk about that. But Ezra Miller's hitting people in heads with chairs, no worries, we good. Okay, breaking and entering into people's homes, stealing stuff, whatever, fines, probation. Here you go, $500, and that's it. You know, absolutely ridiculous. Like, they couldn't even fine this guy like $1 million or whatever. But I guess, you know, you got to treat all citizens fair, even though he's rich and he can afford it. I just think that it's just absolutely amazing that this kid got away with all of the stuff that he got away with, is still going to show up in movies and nothing happens to him. But again, that's where you see the privilege. So every time somebody starts talking to you about privilege, ask them about Ezra Miller. Hey, what happened to Ezra Miller? You know, you're saying that all of these other marginalized communities and all of these marginalized people in society, they don't have anything going in their direction. Well, what about Ezra Miller? You know, you guys aren't going to say anything about that. Keep your mouth shut about everything else. But anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? Ezra Miller probably going to be in The Flash. Gets away with nothing but a slap on the wrist with all of his indiscretions from 2022. Go ahead, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.